Hello, YouTube, everyone, the world. How's it going today? How you doing? Sorry, I get a little up, so, there we go. So, since in typical YouTube fashion, I'm going back to an old video that I did 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Has been getting clicked on, a lot of traction, so we're going to be talking about it. If you clicked on the video, you've seen the title. We talk about Akwafina and her latest comments. I do think that all of this stuff is really stupid, but I do like talking about it because I see everybody is just on like one side of the fence or not clearly, and it's a little ridiculous. So let's get into it a little bit. Let me get to over here. So for those of you who don't know, let me go back to it real quick. For those of you who don't know, Akwafina made some comments and was gotten a little bit of heat when Shang-Chi came out about using an Asian voice stereotypically in a movie. She said, I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of like it being demeaning and disrespectful to the culture and the community. But then she does the same thing for like an African American type of voice, even though she's not African American, and hence, from there on, she's just continually just kind of put her foot in her mouth a little bit. And I want to clarify like how I feel on it. On this, there are so many other. If this is one of like your daily issues, it's just something I'm making videos on because you guys will click and I can have an opinion that other people haven't been showcasing because everybody's kind of like a pay to buffer shill or just is an idiot. This is not my number one issue ever. There's in no world where I would be like, this is a real problem in society. Whatever is going on here with her, everything around this cultural appropriation, everything, all this stuff is just a not issue. It's white noise to have everybody fighting, yada, yada, yada. But we're going to talk about it because I'm just amazed on how she keeps putting her foot in her mouth so hard. So the last time I told her, I mean, she didn't watch the video or anything, but I said, hey, your PR people suck. You need to just not hire me. I will help you get the right people. There are certain things you need to say and do, but what you're doing is not right. So there's two ways to go about this that most people kind of go in, and they're not right. There's the middle part where I'm like, this is what you need to do. So you're sitting there like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Let me explain it. So the two ways you can go about this, you get caught with something like this, like Akwafina did. You can either go hail to the masses or denial and haters gonna hate. Both of those suck. They're shitty opinions. Why? Because if it just go haters gonna hate, it means you're devoid of criticism. There's nothing, you're never gonna be wrong about anything. There's only gonna be people who have differing opinions from you, which just is not right. It's not the way the world works. If you did something, you should say what you did or not. And you shouldn't just ignore it. It's not gonna go away. The other one is pandering to the masses, which is what this seems to be here, which what she did. So February 5th, she came out with these. I've read these. I'm not gonna go through all of this. But this is the one that I want to go through the most. But you can go through these. They're not important. A lot. The first two are kind of leading into everything, and then this is where it goes, where is she going? And then the last one. So this is the pandering type of stuff. So I'm just going to read a little bit, all right, and we'll talk about this and the whole situation. So my immigrant background allowed me to carve an American identity off the movies and TV shows I watched, the children I went to public school with, and my undying love for respect for hip-hop. That's the important part. I think as a group, Asian Americans still trying to figure out what that journey means for them, what is correct, and where they don't belong. Yada, 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 and she goes through the rest of it. So here's the thing. This part up until my undying love for respect for hip-hop. This part, that has to, that's in line for any group. So that's for white people for African American culture. That's African American people for Samoan culture. That's Samoan people for Thai culture. It that doesn't that doesn't do anything. Right? And that's really the meat and potatoes of the rest of this. Everything else is just kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm not here to make fun of people, I don't belittle them. So here's the thing, this is pandering to those people, and again, kind of this is like the other side, but kind of giving excuses. And to clarify, where she went last time, she just had no answer. She just was less like, it's a complicated issue, and yeah, which is really not. It's not a complicated issue. So why does this suck? Let me read it from my perspective. My immigrant background allowed me to carve a Caucasian identity off the movies and TV shows I watched, the children I went to school with, and my undying love and respect for country music. It doesn't excuse. The problem is not, and that's what I want to make clear here. The problem that everybody should have with Akwafina and her responses, I'm saying this to you too, Akwafina, the problems that people should have with you, Nora, are the fact of not you using this. People are freaking the fuck out because everybody's special snowflakes now and wants to bitch and complain. That's not the issue. The issue is it's a problem when it's your culture, but it's not when it's somebody else's. That was the whole issue from the beginning. From there on, you're just making it worse, and you just have to address that. What you have to address, Nora, is to just say, hey, look, this is what I said for when it came to Asians and Asian American culture and community and everything. I've not shown the same level of care, respect, followed the same rules for when I do it for the African American community. So, taking my background and this whole immigrant background line into effect, I understand why the opposite is also a reality. And it's a reality for me. I understand it, and it should be completely excusable. It shouldn't be making fun of a culture. There should be some sort of context between. If you're obviously making fun of that culture, it's different than if you're imitating or if you've adopted it into your own, which is what you do as individuals. That's kind of what should have been talked about. Nora, you gotta stop talking about your background and like how you grew up and everything and all this, because another thing is, and we're gonna discuss this here. Another thing is, where was Akwafina born? All right, so I'm from New Jersey. If you guys don't know, I'm from New Jersey, from Jersey. I know a little bit in New York. I know the areas and everything. You're from Stony Brook, okay? It would be one thing if like you were actually from Queens, right? Or if you were in Brooklyn. Brooklyn was kind of, like all the way up to like kind of Garden City. I mean, up to here, you're getting pretty, like this is Long Island. Right? You're getting pretty past the JFK airport. You're getting pretty bougie. Okay, even old school New York. She lives in Stony Island, Stony Island. She lives in Stony Brook. Okay, Stony Brook is closer to the Hamptons than it is to JFK. Okay, so the thing is, when you start using, and I'm not saying this is a problem. I'm not saying, hey, if Nora, if you grew up next to me in Somerville, in Jersey, I'd be saying the same thing. It doesn't matter where she grew up. If it's appropriate in her culture, it's like how she grew up as part of like who she was growing up, and that's the identity you were, centered around. That's fine. I don't care about that as long as the words properly discuss, why you're using that accent. I'm not going to say it. It's stupid. Why you're using that accent and why it'd be okay for somebody to use more of an Asian accent. That understanding is what I'm looking for, is what a decent society should be looking for. I don't care if you're from Stony Brook. I don't care if you're from Alabama. I don't care if you're from Alaska, Mexico. It doesn't matter. If you've appropriated it into you and your culture, that's what you've done on a personal level. That's fine. But when you use this as an excuse, then people are going to point out, hey, this bitch grew up in Stony Brooks, basically the Hamptons. She's white as fuck. That's what people are saying. That's what the problem is becoming, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a problem at all. So Nora, you need better PR, but you really need somebody better at your helm being like, no, you need to address the hypocrisy behind your original words on Asian Americans and their accents in movies, film, TV, and media and everything. And you need to show your side using the African American accent, because that you've appropriated that from growing up in the culture where you grew up in, yada yada. Like, you need to use those two examples to show how they coexist, and neither one are inherently a problem without context. Right? Look at the Joe Rogan situation. Hey, he's said the N-word 12 times on that video. Well, what's the context? Is he quoting a movie? Is he quoting song lyrics? Is he using it to degrade someone? That's not all the same thing. It's not all in this big blanket of, you said it, you're guilty, you're a piece of shit racist. Because you're not. And neither are you. You're not a piece of shit racist for you going yo, 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 and adopting that type style of talking into you. That, like, you're not a racist piece of shit for doing that. You are a hypocrite for saying you can't do it for Asians. And that is the only problem that should have existed from this. But you keep putting your foot in your mouth, and then this is what people are saying. And it's stupid. So, in my personal opinion, I don't like it's movies and films. Like, we're never supposed to have everybody who plays whatever they are in the movie has to actually be that. No, it's called acting. Right? You can't say something in a comedic sense, making fun of a certain group of people, as long as you're making fun of certain groups of people, or you're showing some relatability. No, you're supposed to be there for comedy to entertain people. You're not there to be politically correct. You would then be a politician or a teacher. You're not. You're not a politician. You're not a teacher. You're not someone that we need to look up to like that. You don't have to keep saying this bullshit. Just address the fact that there is hypocrisy for what you said for Asian accents and for African American accents. That's what you need to address. It's the only thing you need to address. And you need to walk back everything else to be like, look, everything else I said was kind of white noise and kind of putting my foot in my mouth. That's all you need to say and address. Because that's all that should be there. If anybody asks for more, here's the problem. I said in the beginning, there's two things you can do. The constant denials, or kind of haters gonna hate, / explaining yourself, which is the route you're going out, and it's not there. Or the other route, which you're also kind of doing, of the pandering to the masses. Here's the thing with the pandering to the masses and why it doesn't work. If you pander to the masses, they put the goalpost here, okay? The goalpost was moved from here to here, and they want you to go here. They will keep they will not fucking let go like an angry dog until you go here. Then you go here, and this is where you're at because this is where they told you to be. Then the goalpost moves again. And you're constantly the bad guy until you keep going and moving the post with them. Don't move the goalpost. The goalpost is right there. Okay? That's their personal goalpost. They want you to go there because the whole world is a fucking mess and everybody's crazy right now. All you have to do is address the hypocrisies. That's it. That's all that I've asked for from the beginning. That's all that I've expected. I didn't think this was going to turn into this much of a shit show. Do not bring up the fact of you appropriating in your culture, because people will bring up where you were at. And you grew up nowhere near Queens, nowhere near Brooklyn, nowhere near the hard parts of New York. And I understand your parents are immigrants and went through what's different than, say, somebody else whose parents were both born there and didn't have to move from another country. Your experience was different from those people, and I understand that, but we can't live through that experience using the facts that we have. It's going to diverge the conversation into something stupid like it has, like, oh, she's in Stony Brook, which is basically closer to the Hamptons than JFK. And that's all that you need to address. And in the end, I'm so sorry, Nora. I feel bad for you. I feel bad. I actually like you. I don't think I've seen many like your movies and stuff. I think you're personable. I think you're fine. I don't, I'm sorry. This is a shit show. But I'm also telling you, I am sitting here. I have nothing to do. I'm currently out from trying to get my leg fixed, okay? I have all the time in the world. I will sit here on Zoom calls and walk you through it. We'll write a whole PR stunt right now. We'll do it. it involves you having to destroy your ego and your image a little bit of what you've built up the last few months in order for you to get to a place where you can have an acceptable like apology for the things that you actually, I guess, are guilty for doing, which is having the hypocrisy. And it's what I said here. Go back to my last video. It's also what I said. What's the thing that she needs to address? She needs to address the hypocrisy. She doesn't need to address anything else. Anything else is this bullshit, woke left, crazy ass shit. Or you might just get the right wingers on the other side just because they're going to be arguing. Then they're going to be like tempting you and the trolls and everything. No, you need to just address that. That's it. Nothing else. And I'm sorry because like looking at this, like, you know, she's not having a good time. She is not having a good time. And I feel bad. I really do. Because all she wanted to do was like make a statement that she thought was gonna. I'm sure I could be wrong, Nora, but it seemed like from your original statement you didn't know what to say, and then the statement you made afterwards was, and especially the Asian American accent one later on or earlier on, was like appealing to the masses of what was being created then that people were asking for. And you essentially, with those original comments of, you know, non-appropriation for cultural appropriation for Asian Americans and Asians, that was the right statement for when they had the goalpost back then. But they keep fucking moving it. So you're never gonna you're never gonna please them. So you just got to stop with that and just address the hypocrisy and move on. That's it. And if you don't do this, if you don't address the hypocrisy and then move forward by kind of, you know, demeaning, you know, calling yourself stupid for the things that you said, and some of the stuff I said is kind of stupid and it's hypocritical and I understand it, blah blah blah, I didn't really know, and I was trying to appeal to the masses. If you don't address all that stuff and everything, this is going to follow you in your career. And it's really easy, but I know it might be hard because it means you having to admit you're actually wrong in front of everyone, or were wrong, and apologizing for something that, I mean, honestly, we don't really need an apology for, but nobody's going to move past it. Will it stop me from seeing Shang-Chi 2 if I actually liked Shang-Chi, which I didn't really like Shang-Chi? Would it stop me from seeing it? No. Would it stop me from being like, oh, she's a good person? No. Would it stop me from being like, I like her as an actress, comedian, or anything? No. None of this will personally stop me from all that. I don't really give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I think it's really funny and really stupid, and you need better people. Whoever is in your inner circle and helping you craft this stuff, they need to be fired. They're like the new egg RMA people. You need to just let them go and get someone who's really going to be here to do a good job and the right job. So I'm done with my ranting. You know, nobody's going to probably be here to the end of the video anyway, but I hope everyone who's here understands that the problem is not the appropriation of her accent, nor where she was born, what circumstances they were under. None of that's the issue. The issue is the hypocrisy, just needs to be addressed, and then that's it. Everything else is white noise. Guys, it's not a problem. It's not an issue. People have been doing it for years. If you don't like that she does it, then I'm sure you don't listen to Eminem, right? No, I'm sure that's not the fucking case. I'm sure you're not going to be like, this white boy ass cracker needs it. No, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure there's all your own personal hypocrisies for people there. Like, so everybody who's giving her a hard time on Twitter and making her life a mess, just lay off her a little bit. Okay, just wait for her to address it. If she doesn't address it, she doesn't address it. And then, Nora, that's going to be on you in the end. But I really hope you watching this video, I really hope you've seen this so that you can understand the real issue from actual people who are fans of you. My friend is a big fan of you. I'm sure I have other fans that are friends that are fans of you. I have other fans that are friends of you. You know, just don't worry about it. Lay off Twitter for a while. I barely go on anyway. Although I have nowhere near the followers as you. And you just need to address the hypocrisy. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I hope that you do it or not, because I can keep making these videos. That's fine. I got nothing to do right now. But I hope you do address it because, you know, if it's making your life a living hell, I'm sorry. It really is something stupid to be stressing over. And again, everybody who's like hounding her, there are bigger issues in your life than this. So Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. Please stop hounding her, and let's all move on from this. Hopefully Nora does something about it. We'll see. And that's it. So leave a like, subscribe, whatever, don't. And I'll catch you next time. And let me know down in the comments below what you think of everything. You know, whether you're on the far left for it, like she's a terrible person for using the accent, you're far right troll, you're someone in the middle with my opinions. Just let me know down in the comments. I would like to actually know, the people who are watching this, what do you actually think about what's going on here. And that's it. And have a nice day. Have a nice non-hate-filled day, people.